99-year-old army veteran Captain Tom Moore has been heroically lapping his garden to raise money for the NHS. He's raised millions of pounds so far, which is an incredible feat. It's just got me thinking though, rather than having to raise obscene amounts of money through extreme means in times of crisis, couldn't we all just be paying a portion of our income into a pot, the money of which was then used to properly fund our emergency services? What? What is it? Right, that is what's happening. So, we've already paid for the NHS through our national insurance contributions and income tax. Are you sure? Apparently, that's what the NHS is. A national health service, not a charity. That it's less about the money, of which there is plenty, since the government has just greenlit the HS2 train line in the middle of a pandemic, and which will reportedly cost up to £106 billion. But that it's actually about how the government spends the money. Money that we've already raised through tax and national insurance. Well, I say we. The current Duke of Westminster, Hugh Grosvenor. Anyway, Richie McRichface selflessly donated £12.5 million to the NHS, which seems like a lot until you find out that it actually represents only 0.1% of his overall wealth. And the fact that he paid no inheritance tax on the bulk of his £8.3 billion family fortune in 2016 should have no bearing whatsoever. The thing is, as charitable as these gifts may be, the NHS is not a charity. It is not a private for-profit organisation either. It is a public service created after World War II so that every person in this country could receive medical treatment free at the point of access when they needed it. It clearly states on the original NHS handout that you are paying for it, mainly as taxpayers, and it will relieve your money worries in times of illness. If NHS staff are being asked to sacrifice themselves over lack of PPE, if UK-based suppliers of PPE are mysteriously receiving no orders from the government despite insistence and willingness to help, if tests aren't being made available, if visitors are still flying into Heathrow, unchecked, untested and let loose on public transport, if older people in care homes are being entirely omitted from statistics, you can bet your friggin' bottom dollar it ain't a money problem, it's a government problem. The UK is the 5th richest country in the world. There is no excuse for money. There is literally no excuse when it comes to money. If there was money to bail out the banks after the financial crisis in 2008, well, there's money to bail out the emergency services now. Unless, of course, they just don't want to? Surely not. Not Boris Johnson, though, who said after his A&E scare, "I owe doctors and nurses my life after coronavirus treatment." Well, Boris, I think £350 million a week should do it, don't you?